So I said, don't get carried away. You're at peace, don't get carried away. I remember one time you said, yeah, you have to come home. You come home with peace, and you're at peace. And sometimes you will say, yeah, come home. But when I come home, when I go home, what I would be doing is involved in my iPad. Look at my games, look at my phone number. That's not coming home. Coming home is to go inside your mind. Some people really don't understand what's coming home. He said that I can find peace at home, the physical home, so that I don't have to get involved with anything else. I got to come home. But come home is come home to your inner contemplation. Come home to your mind. Oh, one thing you have to watch out when you're eating in the temple. When you're eating, you don't lean. You don't lean on a table like that and sit like that. You don't lean both hands onto the table. You have to sit like that. You don't lean against, perhaps seen people leaning against the table and eating like that. Yes?
I have a question. Suffering arises from the five.
The five skandhas are also called the five aggregates. What do you mean by aggregates? Conglomeration. Five heaps of things. The five aggregates. So how do we try to understand the five aggregates? We have to start from asking a question. I, who am I? There's I, who am I? Where do I come from? Where would I go after I die? Why do I have to go through what I have gone through now? I mean, I have a lot of destinies and I have a lot of sufferings, I have happiness, and why do I have to go through all these? I is made up of two components. I and make up two components, the body and the mind. The body and the mind make up of me. I cannot go without a body. I cannot live without a mind. I cannot live without a body. So the mind and the body has to come together. So it's mind, body plus mind, or mind plus body. And then, yeah, I is made up of body and mind. But then what is this body? You have to go deeper and deeper to investigate why. What is this body? This body is a whole bunch of molecules. There's a whole bunch of body cells. This body concerns something physical, materiality. This body is materiality. This body is made up of what? The liver, the lung, the heart, the skin, the hair, the bones, the liquid inside. Everything in me, physically, materially, make up of body cells. That's the physical part. The body is the physical part. But other than the physical part, there's also a spiritual part, a metaphysical part, a non-physical part. That's the spiritual part of me. The spiritual part of me is what concerns the mind, how I think, my thinking, my cognition, my consciousness. My consciousness is not physical, you know. My consciousness could be expressed physically, but my consciousness is not physical. So I'm a combination of materiality and consciousness, or it's physical and spiritual. So then I also ask the question, can you get me more details of this body and mind? The Buddha analyzed this body and mind into five skandhas. The five skandhas, the five aggregates. The material part of it, you well understand. Your body contains all of organs and all that and all that. But the spiritual part is something that you really have to think about it to understand. What is perception? For perception pertains to the first five senses. Your eyes, your ears, your nose, your taste, the tongue, your body, the five senses. And volition concerns the sixth sense and the seventh sense. Cognition concerns a combination of the sixth consciousness, the seventh consciousness, and finally the storage consciousness, which is the alaya consciousness. So, you asked me the question originally, what are the five skandhas? The five skandhas is what constitute me. And then a lot of questions could come up afterwards about these 5 skandhas. How do these 5 skandhas get formed? Why are there a formation of 5 skandhas? If I suffer from mental afflictions, sufferings, if I have cravings and attachment, if I have all these worries and troubles, how do the 5 skandhas analyze me? How do I clean up my 5 skandhas? All these 5 skandhas have interactions. When these interactions come and you crave, you attach, mental afflictions and sufferings would come. When you have mental afflictions, these 5 skandhas will perform a lot of karmic energy. There's 5 skandhas in me. These 5 skandhas can kill, can lie, can commit sexual misconduct, can do all sorts of karmic volitional actions. So the whole 5 skandhas would interact together to produce a lot of karmic energy. This karmic energy, some of them are wholesome, some unwholesome, some neutral. That's the karmic energy would roll into samsara, life and death reincarnation. I reincarnated with this karmic energy, and this karmic energy is from the performances and the volition performances of the 5 skandhas. So I really have to go back if I want to analyze how can I stop life and death, how can I stop suffering, how can I stop mental afflictions. I have to go back to how I was formed. It's like it's dependent on origination. So you have to, I can only give you a very brief answer, because if you want to understand the 5 skandhas, you really have to go very deep into consciousness, and that's at least 3 semesters, at least 3 or 4 courses, in order to you can understand how it works. Okay, but suffice it to say, the 5 skandhas is what make up you, what make up me. In the interaction of it produces a lot of sufferings and mental afflictions, produces a lot of jealousy, hatred, grief, depression. A lot of this is from the 5 skandhas. And all this interaction produces suffering. The 5 skandhas produce suffering. And these 5 skandhas, when this present existence of 5 skandhas died out, it rolled with the karmic energy into the next life. And we call that reincarnation. That's a very brief answer to the question that you have just raised, the 5 skandhas. Buddhism is like a cocoon of philosophies in there. You have to take every thread out and try to examine under a microscope what is it talking about. And then you know more about Buddhist teaching. It's not just superficially. But that's a good question. You should have written that question on a piece of paper.
Well, someone who doesn't believe, for instance, in any form of higher level than what they're at now.
If you believe in something, and then if some new ideas or some analysis come to their mind that they question what they believe, that's normal. I mean, when I believe in a religion, because when I believe in a religion, I may not have complete loyalty to it. There's something that I may not understand. I just believe in it because I think that it's going to work for me, this religion I believe in. But then as you go deeper and deeper, as you're more experienced in life, as you have more and more analysis and investigation about life, you may change your religion. You may change your religion, you may get deeper and deeper, or maybe you may get deeper in your own religion. The Buddhist religion never discriminate any other religion, because the Buddha said that everybody would become a Buddha. You have that nature to become a Buddha. So that you have that nature to become a Buddha. If you don't believe in Buddhism, finally, Buddhism is just a term. You don't have necessarily to be labeled or stigmatized as a Buddhist to believe in the Buddhist teaching. If you don't use that word Buddhist and your understanding is the same as what the Buddhist teaching is talking about, you are not a Buddhist, but you are striving towards enlightenment. So don't just be misled or just don't follow the name. The words don't mean anything. It's the thinking that's involved, not the names. So you could call yourself, I don't want to call myself to be any person. but this is something that I believe in. I believe in there must be a consciousness that's responsible for this reincarnation. When I die, what happened to me? If I don't have a religion, I think, when I die, would I just disappear altogether in full from this world and never, I won't be here anymore? Where would I go when I died? And then you start to question, how do I initially come to this world? Do I came from nowhere? So if I keep on thinking about that, if I know that there must be a reason for everything, and it's true that everything exists with a reason, with conditions, then the fact that I exist now, there must be some conditions, preconditions, that have paved the way for my existence. So I don't exist for no reason. What I encounter now, say if I was born in a broken family, there must be a reason why I was born in there. If I was born in a wealthy, rich, happy family, there must be a reason being born in there. So when you think about that, then these reasons are called conditions. When the conditions are there, when the causes are there, there must be effect. There's nothing like there's an effect without a cause. The effect of you coming in here and sitting in here and listening to me, there must be some preconditions and conditions and causes that would have brought you to here. You won't come out of nowhere. There must be conditions, causes, preconditions that are mature for your presence to be here. So if you use that logic to think about it, then what I believe in, there must be reason. Then if I'm not loyal to what I believe and I change my mind, there must be reason. So there's a lot of explanation to what you're talking about, and your question is like a general relationship. Don't stigmatize religion by name. Sometimes I like to throw away that word Buddhism. Because if you're blindly stigmatized to names, you tend to be very pragmatic. And some people, even after they study Buddhism for 20 years, they say, our religion is the best because it contains the best philosophy, it's better than anything, and all these other religions are only learning from us. I mean, that's already not right, because you're making distinctions, you're discriminating. So a true Buddhist would not discriminate. Siddhartha Pundarika, Miaohua Lianhua Jing. In that sutra, there was a chapter saying that there was a Bodhisattva who always bowed to everybody he encountered. He said, you have that Buddha nature. Even though you're not a Buddha, I respect you and treated you as a Buddha because you have that Buddha nature. 常不轻菩萨，常常不轻慢人的。因为每一个人都可以成佛，每一个人都是菩萨，每一个人他都拜的。You can be a future Buddha, so I dare not underestimate you. You will be a future Buddha. It does not matter what you believe in. You will be a future Buddha because you have that nature to be enlightened. I don't know if I answer you well. As a matter of fact, honestly speaking, it's a general question that requires in-depth answer. Yeah?
Is it possible to awaken in this lifetime?
Is it possible to awaken in a lifetime?
Yeah.
It depends on your level or degree of awakening. Awakening could be in series. Sometimes this is an unawakening level. This is confused level, and that's the awakening level. You go through series of awakening. It depends on where you are. A complete, fully enlightened awakening would be at the level where the Buddha is. In this lifetime, it's extremely difficult because given the time that you have in your practice and given the karmic energy that you have to go through, you may not have that opportunity to practice. So it's very, very difficult to get enlightened in one's lifetime. But you may get to different levels of enlightenment. But if you look at the Arahat level, there are three levels. The first level is Sotapanna level, 出果. Second level is Sakridagarman, 二果, Siddhahan果. The third level is Anagarmin level, which is the third level. The fourth is the Arahat level. If in this lifetime you practice every day, you're really conscientious in your practice, in your meditation, in your practice. Remember, practice is not just meditation. It's observation of the Vinaya, it's Samadhi and Vipassana, going the three courses. Assuming that you really practice well in your lifetime, you practice well, full-time practice. You are a monk, for example. You practice and practice. In this lifetime, you could have achieved the awakening of Sotapanna. And what does that mean? The first level awakening, Sotapanna. Sotapanna, that means you have already eliminated a major portion of the ego, the I. The I, the identity, the ego, you have eliminated a major portion of it. You become a Sotapanna. That means you still have to reincarnate. You are not getting out from samsara. Reincarnate 7 times to come back to this world, the world with desire. And then you continue to practice. You would never go down to hell, animal, or ghost realm, because you are at that level where your karmic energy will not pull you to the 3 vicious realms in your future reincarnation. You just will reincarnate as a human, or you become a monk for the next 7 lives. And then you practice 7 times coming back for reincarnation. And then you become an Arahat, non-retrogressively. But you still have to come back again for 7 times. And who knows, maybe you have already come for the 6th time. This is your 7th time. And in this 7th time, for example, when you are 21 years old, 22 years old, you become a monk. And you really concentrate the study. This could be your last time. And then after this time, you become the Arahat. Then that means you are fully enlightened at the Arahat level. You would never roll into samsara or reincarnation again. No more suffering for you. You are nirvana. You are at nirvana. You are at nirvana level. But maybe you are the 6th. I don't know. If you ask me, would I have the opportunity of awakening this lifetime? Then only the enlightened Arahat will tell you. I can see, for example, if I'm the Arahat, this is your last lifetime. You can become a monk and you will be an Arahat when you pass away from this world. That's a Sotapanna level. If you're at the 2nd level, which is the Sakridagarmin level, you only come back to this life 1 time. So in other words, you have practiced that you have eliminated most portion of your ego. And then you only come back 1 time, not 7 times anymore. This could be your last time. Then you became a monk and you really practiced full time, and boom, after this 1 lifetime, no more 6 times coming back, and you become the Arahat. Now if you're at the next level, the 3rd level up, which is the Anagarmin, you're not coming back to this world of desire. You are in the world of form, in higher level heaven in there. Because why? Because the more ego you have eliminated, the more you'll be away from desires. Why do we have to come back to this world? Because you still have that man and woman desire that binds you in this world. So that's the reason why a monk has to be celibate. If you are tied up with husband and wife, you can never get out from samsara. Because this is a world for husband and wife. This is just a world for husband and wife. So if you get married, you have a woman or a man, and you have children, you all get bound in your family, you can never get enlightened this lifetime. Unless you're really a Sotapanna who make the wish that you will come back as a married man. But you still won't involve with the relationship. There are people like that. A lot more to say. I mean, I can't stop. There's so much more information to tell you about it. So do you understand my question? Yes. All right. So any other question? No more questions? So you want to become a monk or a nun? I don't think you will raise your hand. Yeah. All right. Okay. That's it.